doing, guys? Not quite sure what today is. Maybe the 23rd, 4th or something. Last night I had a dream that I quit, that I relapsed, and I've been on the motorway now. I'm driving to get some work done on the van, and listening to a podcast, just sort of daydreaming and let my mind wander. I feel like kind of giving up today somehow. Giving up. It's fucking... makes me sad when I say that. I feel myself tearing up for some reason. I haven't been feeling so sad. These last week's been really hard at work. I've got a couple of days off today and tomorrow. Maybe it's something to do with where I'm going. This is where I'm going, where I grew up. Where I'm going today is where I grew up. My best mate's a mechanic and a handyman, so he's going to give us a hand with getting some progress done on the van. My dad lives around the corner and he's a heavy smoker, and I know one of my options for sleeping tonight is at my dad's, which is going to be hard, going into a smoky house with a chain smoker, breathing it in. All my clothes are going to reek of fags. But I'm feeling the seduction, really wanting to just roll the fag and give in. And honestly, I feel like I'd really enjoy it. This is the weakest that I've felt by a long stretch. Or this is at least during this quit attempt. This is the closest that I feel like I'm getting towards giving in, buying some fags and having a fag. I've had cravings, but they've been more sort of habitual cravings, like parts of the day or with certain people. I've been able to sort of shoo them off, but now I'm kind of on my own, and it just feels like a fag, buying some cigs seems like a good idea somehow. Also going to a place where I've got a really good weed dealer, and normally I pick up when I go there. Maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe that's floating around in my subconscious. getting stoned is definitely self-soothing behaviour for me. When I'm stressed, when I'm anxious, I just get stoned. I've been doing self-soothing and regulating my difficult emotions with getting stoned for years now. And I know it's not healthy. I think there's anything wrong with getting stoned, but when it becomes something that you can't control, and I'll get stoned when I shouldn't be getting stoned, but I just can't help it, and I'm flying far too close to the sun, and I have flown too close to the sun. That's when it's a problem. That's why I can't just do it in moderation. That's my problem. If I've got it, I'll smoke it, and I'll just push it as close as I can get, and it's not good. I haven't done my daily mantra today. I should have done, given that I've had this dream last night. I can't really remember what happened, but I remember smoking in my dream. Talking about it's good. I feel like this is helping me. Talking about it forces you to acknowledge the way that you're feeling and acknowledge these cravings for what they are, and the reason. I think writing as well. Writing's a good one. This is kind of like journaling. Doing these kinds of videos, I'm not talking to one, it's a one-way conversation, innit? But journaling's also a good one. I mean, not just for not just for smoking, but when I'm stressed out to fuck, feeling anxious about something. Like I had a meeting with management the other day that I was running around in my head and building it up to being something really big. I wrote down everything that I felt like I might want to say, and super helpful. Doing these videos, I think it's I feel like it's good to share these bits of my journey. It also reminds me that I'm committed. I put myself out there. I'm saying that I'm not going to smoke, and I'm committed to not smoking. And I'm trying bloody hard, and I don't want to ruin this progress. Might mean not spending time with my dad, because I think the last time I quit, or one of these previous times I was around at my dad's, I was like, oh, I'll just have one. Can I roll one, Dad? And he's like, yeah, go on then. You know, he doesn't even discourage. He knows I'm trying to quit. Talking about it, this is one way of doing it, innit? Starting a fucking YouTube channel. granted, not everyone is the type of person who's going to start a YouTube channel, do these kind of video logs, one-way conversations and sharing it with whoever wants to watch it. What you can do as an alternative because honestly, talking about it is so important, especially when you're struggling. Having a quit buddy or being part of a group. I quit last year, maybe in the summer. I'm on a Facebook group, a quit community, support group. There's thousands of people on it all over the world. And I put like a shout out on there, put a post on there saying anyone quitting, who wants to start a little WhatsApp group, who wants to, join a little group where we can support each other. There's a few people that were quite far on with the journey. There's a few people who were smoking still. A few people really, right at the start. And it worked for a bit. One of the girls from that, shout out to Clodagh, Irish lady, Irish girl. We're still in touch. We've both been struggling through, quitting and relapsing, and quitting again and relapsing. Van life. But yeah, she's helpful. She's so helpful. I think, hopefully, I like to think that I'm there for her as well. And we found a bit of camaraderie. Be able to just have someone in your life that you can send a message to or have a chat with on a phone call where you can say, look, I'm fucking struggling today. So helpful. A problem shared is a problem halved, so they say, and it certainly feels like that. Yeah, it's funny. I was driving along then, listening to this podcast on some data analysis of COVID in the UK and what else has gone on in Europe. Getting a bit of COVID update, and my mind starts to wander a bit, and I'm just thinking, I'm sort of just imagining a pouch of baccy, rolling a cig, and just feeling the seduction take over me. And with these videos, I kind of feel like I'm run out of things to say a bit. Some days I ain't got anything to say. It's just like another day. I've been strong, no cravings. I don't know, I've been stressed at work, big news, that's pretty much fucking every day. So I don't feel like if I ain't got much to say, I don't bother making a video. It's been a few days now, I think, since I've done one of these little videos. I thought this is important to capture, this is important to share. There's value in what I'm feeling now and sharing it. I think the lesson that I'm certainly learning from this and doing these videos is when I do talk about how I'm feeling and being able to verbally acknowledge these cravings and these feelings, it just sort of diffuses them and makes them dissipate and gets me back on track. It's a reminder. It acts as a reminder of, hang on, Tom, you're doing really well. You're 20 odd days in. You're a non-smoker now. And I'm going to say my mantra again, because I haven't said it today. Smoking is disgusting. Smoker's breath is disgusting. I want to improve sex life or my sexual performance. What are the boys? It's an important part of my journey, my life journey that is, to quit smoking. And I want to lead by example. I'm that type of person, I want to lead by example. I'm a natural leader. How that will manifest in my life in the future, I don't know. It's manifested itself in various different ways, with different jobs. I'm not the person who wants to be a leader. I don't want to be in charge. I don't want to be bossing people around. That's not what I mean by natural leader. It means that I was, I've got certain personality traits and behavioralisms where I do things that what leaders do. I lead from behind. I lead by example. I care about the team. It's important for me. So yeah, that's that. So I recognise it's part of me, and I want to be the type of person who can. I want to offer value to people's lives, and I feel like quitting smoking. It's an important part of my life. It's an important part of creating me, if that makes sense. I think we're all constantly evolving as people, and to what extent, that's up to each individual. But if you're learning, if you're looking for opportunities for growth, if you expose yourself to new experiences, different ways of thinking, taking on new information through your life, then you're going to change. You change anyway with maturity and with just being, going through life, to the people that you meet, the things that you do. Even if you live in a tiny community and you do this, let's say you live in the middle. Let's say you live in the middle of nowhere and you've got a farm, and that's the only life that you know. And that's the only life that you might ever know. You're still learning and growing as a person, but probably just a bit. The ways in which you'll change, or those people will change, will be different to someone who's living a life full of rich experience. There'll be certain wisdoms and truths and understandings of the world that someone living an isolated life in a community will gain, that someone who's had a very different life, maybe travelling the world and doing a million different jobs and public speaking or whatever, someone at totally opposite end of the spectrum, we both have different learnings to have, but the point is we are all changing. We are all masters of our own destiny, which is why I believe it's possible to change, and I can see my life for the journey that it is. I had a certain childhood that created a certain adolescent man and young adult, looking back now with the childhood that I had and the experience that I have, it was always going to be the case, or at least it's going to be very likely, I was going to end up being, you know, quite a fragile, vulnerable person who was drawn towards self-serving behaviour and addictive behaviours, which, you know, entails high risk choice making, high risk behaviours. Poor judgment. But there's lots of people who have walked a similar path before me who have changed. People who have had more extreme lives than I have, who have changed. People who have experienced far worse than I have and have been crack addicts, heroin addicts, whatever else, you know, probably been in a far deeper pit of despair than I have, and they've come through the other side and they've found the light. I know it's possible. I seek inspiration from these kinds of people. But it doesn't happen by magic, it requires strategy. So yeah, that's a bit of waffling on. Fairly overcast today. We're in the it's the 10th of March. Nice and mild though. The north of England. I'm now in the Fylde coast, home county of Lancashire. Blackpool. It's not so far away from me at the moment. Yeah, this is where I grew up. This is always a kind of I left at 18, did my 3 months in Honduras, came back, lived with my girlfriend for 3 months, moved to London. That was it. I never sort of come back, never came back. I had no reason to. My parents, my mum and stepdad, they moved. Yeah, I never came to see my dad. He'd come to see us in Thailand. I see him every year. Make the effort to see him when he you know, he'd come out to Thailand not to see us really, but you know, it was more coincidental that I was there at the same time. Two birds, one stone. But yeah, coming back, it's kind of nice. It makes it gives me a way to measure how I've grown and how I've changed, because I can see things through different eyes now. Same old places, same old faces. But I see things through different eyes. A lot of things are more beautiful. I love it round here, but there's also, you know, I get those feelings of I wonder if I'll move back here one day. There's a couple of books that I read, one of which Thanks for Being Late, or Thank You for Being Late, by Friedman, I think he's called. Something Friedman. The little other little kind of subtitle on the cover is how to do something in the age of uncertainty, maybe. Anyway, highly recommend the book. Highly recommend the book. Is it Dennis Friedman or something? Can't remember. Friedman. Thanks for Being Late. It's about the 5 factors at the moment that are sending the world down the fucking swanny. Globalization, rate of technology growth, medical advancements, pharmaceuticals, can't remember. Anyway, the conclusion, what's important for me, what I have remembered, the conclusion of the book is that the solutions to these problems lies in community. Hiya, you alright? Thank you.
What did you say?
No, are you okay? Thanks. Just saw somebody that I knew I went to school with. Yeah, the conclusion of the book, there's all of these things that are environment was one of them. You know, deforestation and polluting the oceans and mass agriculture. He says there's these massive worldly problems, and his conclusion is that the solutions need to be found on a local level and a community level. Douglas Rushkoff, another guy, amazing. I think he's classed as a futurist. Apparently he's a guy, these rich CEOs and multi-billionaires, super powerful people, they go to Douglas Rushkoff and they say, look mate, if things do go tits up, where's going to be the safest place for me to build my underground bunker? Alaska or New Zealand or where? Right, that's Douglas Rushkoff. He's the person who gives them those kind of answers. He's a futurist, and he's got a book, Team Human. Didn't actually, not my kind of book really, but there's some interesting stuff in it. But listen, if you listen to his podcasts, there's one, I'll put a link to it, where he's talking to, no offence to the bloke, but you're a bit of a douche, this young guy. They're like an AI thing, they're all into new technology and stuff. And Douglas Rushkoff, the way that he speaks on this thing, he's on stage, he's just lost. He's lost all patience, and he speaks so candidly. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. He just doesn't give a shit anymore. He's just he's totally lost all fucking. He just can't be arsed speaking nicely about it anymore. It's just we're fucked. He doesn't say that, but that's the message. That's the message that I took from it anyway. But the point is, before I go off on a tangent again, the answer to all of these problems that we're facing as a global society now, the answers lie in local community. Which brings me round to what I was saying is, maybe I need to come back here. Maybe that's where my life's taking me. I'm going to university not so far away, probably. I'm sort of slowly, after these 10 years, I'm slowly gravitating to coming back. And Blackpool's run down. Fylde Coast needs some. It's kind of a sorry place to be. Anyway, that's a good chat. Thanks for listening, team. Bit of all sorts in there. Wherever you're up to, I hope you're doing well. If you're having one of those days, one of those moments where you feel like it seems like a good idea to give in, then find someone to talk to about how you're feeling. Know that it's okay. It's okay to feel that way, and that the feelings will pass, because they will pass. Another thing, part of my strategy is supporting others. Find the strength to support other people with their quit journey. It's part of the 12-step program. It's part of their strategy for dealing with their addictions. Community and support. You got a duty to do it, and that's something that I've taken on. I think that makes sense, and I feel it. I feel it. Not only does it make you feel good because you've been of service to others, but it keeps you on track. So if you're going to be the person to offer guidance and strength and support, it's kind of a bit hypocritical. You can't do that if you're weak yourself, and if you've just relapsed. So that's important to have people who are ahead of you on your journey, but also people behind you on your journey that you can offer support to. Right, I'm nearly at my location, nearly at my destination. Peace out. Don't smoke. Keep your chin up. Take it easy.